I'm Crystal. Welcome to the EMS Daily Boost. So much has been going on in the world, and it's been incredible to watch. And we've been busy. The Khaleesi Millennium Society has been open and running, not to have anybody be able to come into the building unless they were volunteers, but we've been delivering food and taking care of people that way. And so many things have been happening in the world. It started with the pandemic, with COVID, and it's still going with the craziness of the issues with racism and violence and intolerance in the world. And I'm saddened by that. I do want to talk about just kindness and the way we need to treat people, the way we need to, regardless of their color, regardless of their sex, their size, their political views, the religious standings. It is our responsibility to be kind to one another, knowing that we are all struggling, that we are all having different challenges in our lives and circumstances that have been happening. None of us have been exempt from hardship in this time. None of us have just peacefully rolled through 2020 unscathed. And it seems so ridiculously unfair for us to hold standards to people that we aren't able to hold ourselves because of the circumstances we have gone through. It's one thing that I've been learning over the last couple of years is that we are all going through something. We suffer from depression, anxiety, fear, anger. All of those things are not a condition that anybody is exempt from. And even now, all of these things are magnified. And it hurts my heart to think or to see people being so mean to each other. In what way do we think we have a right? We expect everybody to uphold us, to encourage us, to love us, to there's so many, we hear it all the time that we are all to be held in equality, that we all have rights and we all have things that we are entitled to, which is true. We all have rights. We are all human beings. We are all created equal in the eyes of God. And we declare it and we stand on it and we say these things to the whole world, and we come on social media and we say that we have one heart and one love towards people, and then the world turns it back on us and we have no love. I wasn't created any better than anybody else. I'm a white woman, and I do not believe that I am more privileged than any other race on this planet. You couldn't get any whiter than I am, and it scares me even to say that, because there's so much contempt even towards white people. It's a dangerous time to have an opinion. But my opinion is this: that God created every single one of us, and He smiled and was joyful and ecstatic at every moment, at every detail that He put into making you. Whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Hispanic, whether you are a mix of black and white, black mother, white father, or white mother, black father, or a mix of anything. I mean, there's so many people out there that are a mix of all the colors of the world. That we have no right to look down on anybody. God was excited and just thrilled when he made you with all of your background. I can't imagine how we think we have any right, knowing that any of us could get a DNA test and realize that we are part of every other part of this world. And when it all comes down to it, we have the same blood flowing through our veins. We have the same genetic or anatomy makeup as we do the next person. Why does our skin color change anything? Nothing. It doesn't. We are called to be kind, to be understanding, to be compassionate. We are called to love. I didn't want to make this video anything, I didn't want it to focus on race because it really doesn't. My point is that every single person has an individual life and they have an individual challenges and individual struggles. I could have 10 white people standing in a row and they all have different things in their life they're dealing with. One could have an addiction, one could have come from an abuse, one could come from a religious family, one could, have 4 children and be divorced. It doesn't matter. White, black, whatever. It doesn't matter race. That is not the point. However, it is heavy. Part of the point is because the world distinguishes people according to what they see. So that is my point. You could see a single mother with 4 kids and start passing judgments about how she got there with no idea of what actually went on in her life and what happened. You could see someone who's addicted to drugs and you can make assumptions on how they got there and have no idea how they actually got there or how they're actually struggling through it. They could want to change, they could not want to change, they could have any number of things happen to get them there. And so what we see cannot be our final judgment. And that's my point in this whole video, is what we see, whether skin color, whether size, whether race, whether sex, whatever you see is not the final judgment. And when I say that we need to be kind to one another, I am saying that we have to look past what we see with our eyes and start looking with our hearts at people. Because we are a society, we are a generation that wants to put the best foot forward always. It's demanded. It's an unspoken demand of social media to put your best foot forward. That you need to have everything, you need to be everything, that you have to be all of the things that everybody wants to be: compassionate, kind, loving, rich, famous, talented, all of those things. You need to have all of those things in place. And if you don't have any of that, don't show it. In this day and age where we believe, like social media, we present our lives to people. Back in the day when I was growing up, when I was younger, if you took pictures of your kid's birthday party, you would take pictures of your kid's birthday party, and then a few months later you'd get them developed and then you'd show people, and that would be cool, but there would still be only the people that you come into contact with. It was physical. Right now, we take a picture of our kid's birthday party and take all the best ones and make sure that we get the right shot and the right light, make sure our kid is in the best clothes, and they have all the best looking cake, the best looking presents, everything. And if we don't have that and we share, we get ridiculed, or we feel like we haven't done enough. When did we get there? It's a shame to me that we have to feel that way. And you know what? I'm not immune to that. It's really hard to get past that some days where you're like, I have to present the best. Because people are very, 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 very willing to point out your mistakes, to express their opinions, if they're contrary to yours. And it's hard. It's really hard to live in today's society. And so what I'm saying is, whether it's race, whether it's sex, whether it's size, whether it's situations, whether it's the amount you have in your bank, material goods, food you eat, whatever, your culture, your religious background, whatever it may be, we're all different. And we really have to see, I am different, and I'm okay with that. And we have to actually, beyond that, say, they're different than I am, and I'm okay with that. And even as I say that, I feel like it is so hard for people to wrap their brain around. And I understand that, because it's challenging sometimes, because you get into rolling with society, right? So what I want to really say, and beyond all of the racial stuff that's going on, we need to love each other, and we need to be kind, and we need to attempt to be understanding, and attempt to be discerning. And even if we don't understand what somebody else is going through, just understanding that they're going through something different than we are is a big stand. To say, I don't understand what you're going through, but I understand that you are going through something. And I will be as understanding as I can be, and I will be kind and loving, and I will try to help you. Now, there is craziness going on in this world. Absolutely craziness. And God knows. But you are responsible for you. You are responsible for your reactions. You are responsible for your interactions with people. Pray for what the world is going through, and do your best in your sphere of influence, in your environment that you live in, to be kind and to do your best to take care of those around you. That's all we can do. And when we do that, it alleviates a lot of the stress, and then we actually have a tangible thing that we can do. It's so hard to look at what the world is going through and say, I have no control. But we live in a world where God knows what's going on. We have Him as our strength and our shield, and He will help us where we're at. And if it saddens you and enrages you, take all that emotion to God and trust that He's got it in His hands. And that's all you can do. So the thing I just really want to make sure that we all understand is that no matter what you're going through, kindness rules. And even when it's hardest, love. Thanks for listening. We love you all, and we pray that you stay safe and be kind. Hi everybody. I'm just finished editing that last vlog, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands, and I apologize if I said any terms or refer to anybody in a racist way or in a derogatory term. I am not well versed in today's terminology, and I obviously didn't want to offend anybody, so I want to just make sure to apologize if I said anything in a derogatory way. That was not my intention. I love everybody, and I pray that you guys will have a good evening and a good time in the near future, and that everybody just remain safe. Love you all. Bye.